appreciation rather than utility.
An activity requiring fine skill.
How do the fine arts shape the paradox of affluence?
How do the fine arts reflect the paradox of affluence?
In periods of relative affluence, why is so much art not fun?
Coming attractions.
A play by Ted Tarrant.
The first time I met Lonnie, he was just a scared punk with a $2 handgun.
Oh, okay, I got 4 hostages, and I'm gonna waste them if I don't get a camera crew in here with a coast-to-coast hookup. I want the story of my life to be shown on 60 Minutes. If Katie Couric is not available, then get me Maury Povich.
He was trying to knock over a laundromat when the owner tripped an alarm. Lonnie ended up with 2 hostages and a year's supply of clean socks.
This is happening!
What network are you from?
Network? You gotta be kidding. For 4 lousy hostages?
Then what are you doing here?
Aha, I'm not a reporter. I'm a theatrical agent.
I don't get it.
Oh God, I'm just freaking out here.
There's no reporters outside, kid. Not a single one. Hostage stories are a dime a dozen.
This isn't fair.
Well, ain't life a bitch.
I'm a failure. I can't even make the 6 o'clock news.
You're vicious, kid, but you've got no vision. How many guys can put a gun up to somebody's head and just blow their brains out?
Millions?
Well, yeah, sure, but how many do you know that can market that talent? Kid, the one thing I got is a great eye for potential. To tell you the truth, I had my doubts about Lonnie. I mean, he wasn't another Manson or Berkowitz. He lacked the true weirdness factor. But I figured we could stimulate some traces. Let me see, kid. I love that.
I feel stupid in this kitty Halloween costume.
Come on, flap your arms, do something freaky. Yeah, that's scary. Now you're doing your thing. Ring the doorbell.
Ding dong.
Okay, now suddenly you jump out and say,
Trick or treat, you bourgeoisie pig. Why can't I just march up to the door and blast them?
because it's not a sexy crime, man. It ain't gonna sell any newspapers.
Well, when do I start getting some bucks?
You want bucks? I'll give you bucks. For starters, let's talk about the non-fiction book rights. The true story of Mad Dog Lonnie, as told by Norman Mailer. Still not enough bucks? Then let's talk film sale based on the novel.
Jeez.
And kids' toys, for Christ's sake. Can't you see them now? Little plastic psychopath and victim dolls. T-shirts, posters, candy bars, jogging shorts, the whole entertainment empire based on the sequels and the novelizations of the rip-offs, of the spin-offs, of the albums, and of the miniseries.
Okay, I'll wear the suit.
All right, you and me, kid, you and me.
Trick or treat, you bourgeoisie pig.
Late bulletin, just in. Police were puzzled tonight by an apparently random pistol sling in a Midtown apartment building. Neighbors reported seeing a strangely dressed man flee from the scene.
Trick or treat, you bourgeoisie pig.
Metropolitan Police today denied that there is any link between yesterday's brutal Midtown slaying and an identical murder which occurred last week in the suburbs. In each case, eyewitness reported that the killer wore a child's skeleton costume and shouted political slogans as he fired.
A skeleton costume?
That's what it says.
Uh-oh. Looney Tunes!
Trick or treat, you bourgeoisie pig.
In the wake of the city's third identical mystery slaying, police have again denied the murders could be connected in any way.
Wait a minute, this is ridiculous. We gotta come up with a name for this creep.
Something that'll be grabby, but within the bounds of journalistic decorum.
Something that will, above all, respect the grief of the victims' families. We don't want this thing turning into a circus.
Absolutely not.
Amen.
How about the Halloween killer?
The Halloween killer!
After that, things happen quickly.
Trick or treat, you bourgeoisie pig.
Newsflash! The Halloween killer struck again tonight, claiming his 4th, 5th, and 6th victims respectively.
Police Chief Biff Braddock reported that he and his men are investigating between 4'8" and 6'5" inches. Weighing in the neighborhood of 135 to 250 pounds. If anybody should see such a man, please contact this department immediately.
Braddock added that while police have not yet positively identified the killer, they do have what he termed, quote,
Several educated guesses that we think might be in the ballpark. Or at least in the parking lot or the concessions nearby.
end quote.
And now a word from Wonder Wife. Your chiefs will feel the difference.
And now a word from Pit Stop, official deodorant of Indianapolis 500.
And now a word from Gucci Cops, the perfect treat for children and dogs.
The kid was sensational beyond my wildest dreams. Like I say, not a natural, but he worked very hard and he kept a cheery attitude. And believe me, when Lonnie started really cooking, everybody got happy. My God, even the police were planning bestsellers.
Trick or treat, you bourgeoisie pig.
Did you get a good look at his face, ma'am?
Just the eyes, officer. I especially noticed them because they were the eyes of a born killer.
Yes, ma'am. Color?
Blue. Check that. Gray. A sort of grayish green. Or they might have been brown. It was hard to tell. They were the eyes of a killer. Mark my word.
I'll just call them sea gray eyes, which held the steely glint of menace.
Writing a book, huh?
Yep, one of those non-fiction novels.
Me too. Mine's The Halloween Killer. An eyewitness remembers. Although if you ask me, the real doe's in those softcover self-help books.
Who's your agent?
William Morris. But I'm changing.
All kind of eggheads went to the tomb to analyze Lonnie's popularity. And they pretty much came up with a little guy beating the establishment. We all know how we love that, which was all a crock, right? I mean, if you ask me why the kid got so big, I'd say two things that have never failed yet: violence and bad taste.